Hello and welcome to James Bond Club Ireland, our first recording of January 2026. Welcome everyone. I've got with me Andy, Sean and Kev. Say hello guys.
Hello guys.
Hello guys.
Hello guys, how you doing?
I teed that one up, didn't I? Tell us, how have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, not too much. Just catching up. I was watching You Only Live Twice. I was lucky to get the 4K DVDs over Christmas. So yeah, surprising. It's probably one of the better Connery ones I will watch. But that was nice to see it again. And the discs, the transfer is excellent. I have to say the colors are amazing. One or two scenes you do notice going, is it? That doesn't look the best, but. Yeah, it's very vivid. It definitely the film stood out, and yeah, actually enjoyed it. So next on the list is Diamonds. All the Diamonds.
Superb. I was very impressed with the Calvin Dyson video where he compared the transfers of the Blu-rays, and the ones that's more faithful to the original are really stunning in my opinion. Cool. Anything else, Kev or Andy? Have you been looking at any Bond related stuff, listening to Bond music, reading Bond books? What have you been up to?
I've done more a case of not necessarily watching Bond films, but watching films with Bond actors in.
Nice.
So, obviously, there was Escape to Athena with Roger Moore I watched the other day.
Nazi.
Yeah, the friendly Nazi.
Friendly Nazi.
The Thursday Murder Club.
Roger the Friendly Nazi, the worst children's book title ever.
Yes, I say that. Then move on the Thursday Murder Club with Pierce, and then Connery. I watched Marnie.
Oh, really? What did you think of Marnie?
It's once I get into it, I think it's good. I can remember watching it as a child and not enjoying it.
Yeah,
but did enjoy it watching it as a grown up, shall I say?
Tippi Hedren is the lead who plays Marnie, isn't she? She famously had a tetchy relationship with Hitchcock. Yeah, excellent.
Tetchy would be putting it mildly, really.
I was putting it mildly. I didn't want to jump too deeply into a subject I don't know much about, but I know that it was a bit rough. Yeah. I don't know enough about it to really comment on it, but it's that in itself is a story worth delving into. But it's a good enough film. It's not one of my favorite Hitchcocks, but it's stylish looking. It's good, and it's kind of psychological and dark, isn't it? What did you think of the Thursday Murder Club?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was absolutely very, very good.
Yeah,
different little couple of changes to the book, which I've already read as well, but I loved it, and I loved Pierce in the role. I know some people have criticised it a bit, but I thought he was really good in it.
Yeah.
And Helen Mirren.
That was excellent. Yeah.
They're great together. No, I love it, and Richard Osman, who writes those books, he's very witty and funny. He always writes good stories, and I enjoyed it as well. I thought he was very good in it. They had a good mix of actors. Ben Kingsley in it as well. Like, wow. Okay, have you been doing anything fun and enjoyable?
Yes, I've been trying to dress like Daniel Craig. So I've been trying to get everyone else to dress like Daniel Craig. It's kind of worked a little bit. I was in Marks at the weekend, and they had the a coat jacket, which was exactly almost similar. I will not say it's a copy. It's not. It is very much a homage to the outfit Daniel Craig wears while he's in the plane chasing Hinks through the snowy mountains.
Yes, the Solden snow jacket, the Tom
Ford snow jacket. Yes. So I saw
that, and that's Marks and Spencer for anyone who might be listening outside of the confines of.
Now, it's not like we're trying to get a sponsorship deal or anything, but that's Marks and Spencer. Great value.
We will model your stuff if you give it to us. You know, I was impressed. It looked exactly like it from the photograph.
It was just happened to be there. I was just wondering. I looked at it and I went, "Oh, that looks very similar." And I know a few folks have actually went up and got it. So
yeah,
enjoy. It goes colder for you.
From the Tom Ford one. Yeah. You should have been taking a commission on that one.
Yes, again, Marks and Spencer. Okay, good. Right, what are we talking about?
I myself have been just, reading some of the books that I got. I tend to be just bring it into bed, have a read of it, and fall asleep instantly. So it takes me a while to get through them at the moment. But I've also been listening to some of the soundtracks, and I watched Knives Out, a couple of times, which I really like. The third Knives Out. I think it's really great. I think it's a really great formula they have. He's very different to Bond. You can't compare it. But he's quite stylish in it, and he drives this absolutely fabulous Mercedes car in it.
Yeah.
So Craig himself is quite likes to mess around with style, and I think he did that really well. But I think Josh O'Connor, who plays the priest opposite him, is a standout. He's a revelation. He's really, really good in this, and they have great chemistry between them as well. So, I don't know. Bond rumor, anyone? Speaking of Bond rumors, let's jump right into it.
Recording started. Right, when I drop out, you can work away.
No, I'm going to start right now so everybody gets to see your face. Welcome. He's gone. I don't know where he's going to drop us in now, but if he gets us in where I come in there, I'll just look like a mad person. Anyway, welcome everyone to James Bond Club Ireland. This is our first podcast of 2026. Not technically the first one we've released, but the first one we're recording in 2026. Sean, is that correct? Tell me it's 20. That's
100% correct and right.
Okay, correct and right. I like to be both. Okay, great. We've so we're here. We are here because we're going to be talking about. We can't let these things fly, right? This is what comes up. We need to talk about it. It's Bond in the news, and the news has been all about a new casting rumor. And before we get into it, I mean, at this point, right, I used to kind of avoid these kind of, the rumor mill would just be churning them out. But at this point, it's almost become a sport. It's part of the Bond film. It's a thing. It's like a computer game coming out. It's like a new book coming out. It's like, the casting circus or process or whatever cycle is off. And another rumor has been kicked out there. So this rumor, as everyone who's listening at this point is going to know, is Callum Turner. So what y'all think about Callum Turner? What do you know about Callum Turner? Where did the rumor come from? Spoiler alert, the Daily Mail. Boom. Anyone care to comment on their first reaction when they heard this?
Well, I have only ever seen him in Masters of the Air, which I thought he was very good in, but I'm just keeping an open mind, but I'm not quite sure about him as Bond as yet. But as far as rumours go, I think there's that many people being rumoured to be Bond recently. I think I'm only 3 people away from being the next rumour.
We could start that rumour now if you want.
Let's do that. Yeah. So, first of all, let's give a bit of background. I mean, this rumor appeared in the Daily Mail, and it was all about. There were pictures of Callum Turner looking fairly fit and beachy on the soaking up the sun in, I believe, GoldenEye, if I am not mistaken, in Jamaica, with his girlfriend, I don't know, his partner, Dua Lipa, who is, of course,
his fiance,
most famous humans on the planet. Oh, are they fiancéed now?
I'm sure I read that today.
So, one way or the other, they are a celebrity couple, and the article said that he'd been blabbing about town, which sounds, I totally, definitely believe that. That's definitely what you would do if you're a professional actor, having the role for James Bond. That and knowing what stalwart reporting has come from the Daily Mail in the past, I'm totally on board with that. So sorry, Daily Mail, we'll never get any support from them. But let's face it. Oh well, cancel those contracts. Yeah, so he was going to be. He was. What made them put 2 and 2 together? The fact that he was in GoldenEye and the fact that he's a tall actor. I mean, that's all you really need to be on the rumor mill these days. So we're going to take this with a pinch of salt. I think it's fair to say, right? But let's just get in and play the sport anyway. What if he were Bond? What if he were to be cast as Bond? Right? What does he have that would be good for Bond? What does he have? I mean, if you look back to previous castings, I think, it's not like, you know, the guys who were cast were never the ones who were the possible exception of Pierce, weren't the front runners like, you know, Clive Owen, I think, was a big name when Craig was around. A few other names were Colin Farrell was in there ahead of him as well. And Craig's name sort of popped up here and there, and GQ was mentioned. He was kind of mid-tier, mid of the field before he raced to the top. And so, you know, you're never really going to know who's in who. But in the last few hours, a trailer has appeared, and I just want to call this out because I sent it to the group. I don't know if you saw this. A trailer came out on Prime Video for a series, I think it's called Bait, is it? And
Bait,
Riz Ahmed is in it. And it's literally a scene where he's sitting in his front room with his family. And some relation, sister, cousin, or whatever, notices that he's been rumored as Bond in another British tabloid, and the whole family kind of goes berserk, and it's quite hilarious. And I think, you know, and his name actually did come up as a Bond rumor in the past as well, right? Riz Ahmed, he's been out there as one of the potentials in the past. So I don't know, but let's turn it back to Mr. Turner. So what do we know of Callum Turner? Andy, you saw him in Masters of the Air. Tell us what I haven't seen that. Tell us what it's about. What did you like about him? He's in it with the other famous tall blonde fella. Who's
Masters of the Air it's basically Band of Brothers for the U.S. Air Force, basically for the Second World War, which, to be fair, is a very good series. Yeah, all about true story based on one squadron's journey throughout the war and throughout capture after being shot down. He plays one of the this more senior flight officers within the series who does get captured, and he's very good in the role. I'm obviously playing an American, so I've never heard him speak as an Englishman. I've only ever heard him as his character in that. He's very good in the role, as I said, but I keep a very open mind, but I'm just not 100% sure that he.
But when you say he's very good,
choice.
like what stands out to you is does he have charisma? Is it his acting chops? Is the way he looks?
Charisma-wise, yes, I think he's quite charismatic. He seems to be, especially in that role, I couldn't fault the quality of his acting. I'm just not quite sure about the look. But then everybody said the same about Craig, didn't they?
Well, I think one of the nice things about the Craig thing is he slightly broke the mold in the sense that we don't have to be hemmed in by the tall, dark look necessarily. I think Roger slightly broke that mold anyway.
Yeah, big time.
So I'm not sure that it was ever defined. Although, as we noticed, the guys from There Will Be Bond were quick to point out that he looked like the Hoagie Carmichael. For those of you younger viewers, and by the way, even we're young when it comes to Hoagie Carmichael, right? He was the
Carmichael
musician.
Fans are getting upset at us now as well. Can I just say? I know we're talking about this, and we look at the whole connections of this, and I think my friends, I am happy to announce that our long search is nearly over, but I don't think it's going to be Callum Turner. Actually, I think we're just at that stage of he kind of looks like Hoagie Carmichael, who Ian Fleming had put in there. That's one thing. He's tall. He's the right age. He's 35. He's English. That's another good thing. We're ticking boxes here. I'm still not too sure. It's like looking at a cloud, and you're sitting there looking at the lovely cloud going past, and it kind of takes the shape of what you want it to take.
Exactly right. It's a Rorschach test of Bond actors. You know, could I fit this guy into what I see as James Bond? Right.
We have form though here, and I will say then what I'll say about him. You know, Roger comes up because Fleming, I think, had once suggested Roger would make a good Bond. Mind you, we also had Cary Grant in the fray. We've been, many names get punched around, as we are finding now. And we'll probably hear more over the next couple of months anyway as we head to the summer. There's always a connection or some sort of relationship. And you're right. I think Daniel broke the mold again. And now we're looking at this guy. Well, he's kind of like him, kind of different. He's kind of a mix of dark hair like Pierce, kind of maybe a bit of a tougher look like a Daniel might have had. Oh, this might be the blend of everything. I think if it is him, good luck to him, because half the world will probably hate him while he's been announced, and the other half will love him. And good luck to him, and let him be successful on that. I've only seen him in Fantastic Beasts. I think he was I'm not a big one Fantastic Beasts, but he was one of the brothers of Newt Scaramanga. I think he was the brother of Newt Scaramanga in Fantastic Beasts from watching it in the afternoon, and he was good. And I kind of enjoyed it, but didn't think any more. He could do it. He could bring a whole different twist to it. He could bring it back to how it was before. Could keep it a bit modern. I think there's such a neutrality about him. It's very hard to know which either way. If it was a big muscly guy, we then automatically think, oh, it's muscles are going to win out. This is a little bit more subtle. So I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure, guys.
Sean is giggling away there. Looks like he looks like he's got inside knowledge.
Well, no, unfortunately not. But I think they're really after him because they want Dua Lipa to sing the next song. Is that what they're looking? Maybe that's what their plan is.
It's a very weird way to plan your actor. I mean, this is a guy who could be doing Bond till the 2040s, and you're telling me, well, we just want to get Dua Lipa to do the song.
As a joke.
I know.
I could look the other way to say he's at the right age. He's known, but he's not that well known. They could bring him on now as the sort of not the most well-known star and raise him up through the role. So I'm a bit like Andy. I'm either way. I'm not that sort of overexcited, or I'm not really disappointed. But in my mind, they've always cast Bond, and it's always been right. And the only thing I would say it's no longer Eon doing the casting. It's now Amazon. As Andy turns his nose up at a certain man in the late 1980s, I'm sure. But the Amazon have to. I keep going back to the point that Amazon need to get this one right. And you know what? I will do issue if they cast him tomorrow morning, because they have a plan in place to know what they're doing. But I do take your point, Kev. I think it's just a bit too early yet. They need to get scripts. They need to get more in-house done in Amazon before they start even thinking about actors. So I think it's a wee bit early yet. And unfortunately, maybe for him, it's just maybe a year too early for him.
And I think on linking on what you've just said there about the Dua Lipa, some of the rumours saying that she's interested in performing the song. Well, what artist isn't interested in performing a James Bond song? You could say that about anybody.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be, if they have someone as famous as Dua Lipa interested, they're going to be definitely clamoring to get that. I mean, that's the reason they went with Billie Eilish and Adele previously, is that they want a big name, they want a hard hitter, and I think that fits in with where they're going to sit right now. They're going to want to come out of the gates strong, as you suggested, Sean. Somewhere I read somebody had written a description. It's an identity crisis for kind of Bond and the studio, because the studio really needs to be, we're sort of, I'm not sure, are they post Eon? They're kind of still with Eon, but I don't know. Is this like a breakup, but we're still living in the same house, running the kids? I don't know what's going on that way. But it's certainly for James Bond as a character, because we've had the most definitive ending of a cycle of a Bond tenure ever, right? Yeah. We've left it in a place where they went so hard down the sort of emotional route and stuff like that how are they going to reboot the series? I would say that they're going to dial back the emotional thing and dial up some of the other factors of what we love about Bond. But to what extent? I mean, I don't think they're going to go out there and do something like, that's why I don't think they're going to get Aaron Taylor Johnson to do it, because I've seen him and stuff. He's a bit of a geezer and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to go that light necessarily. So I think they're going to have to find. Today,
on that, Paul, I was reading today that somebody was saying that Villeneuve is looking to do a more of a brutal origin story. Now, we've done that with Daniel Craig. You don't need to reinvent the wheel with that again.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to reinvent Bond in some way, because
it doesn't need to be an origin story again, though.
It doesn't need to be an origin story. That's correct. Yeah,
and I think the world is changing very quickly amongst us now, and I do think there's probably a need for a little bit of lightness and a little bit of, park your brain for a few hours rather than being taken up on the toil and the emotional. People are feeling it as it is. So whoever they're going to end up with is going to have to be able to do a little bit of lightheartedness in there, and to be able to kind of take a pause or have a good cast around them that can do that. So I do think it's probably going to be I would love to see a blend or a hybrid of what we would have seen in the past with, elements of Brosnan or Roger, but also kind of that toughness and that spy. And please make him a spy, Amazon, please. Not an assassin, a spy. For that, and then let us go and follow an adventure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if those are the criteria that you're looking for, my opinion is that actually Callum Turner fits that quite well, because I think he can do I haven't seen him in the Fantastic Beasts, but I have seen him in a thing called The Capture, which was a good series with the wonderfully named Holiday Granger. She's brilliant.
That is a Bond name, Paul.
Yeah, so it is. And I genuinely, as an actor, if they could get her in some context, she was so good in this.
Yeah.
And he's in it. And if you even look at the poster for that film, he looks a bit like Jason Bourne in it. Now I realize that we're casting a Bond film rather than a Bourne film, but he has that kind of tough, post-army, well-trained secret agenty kind of vibe about him. And, that became very popular from Craig's Bond and Jason Bourne in the 2000s. And this is kind of a modern version of that. And I think he fits that. And he was very good in that. He was kind of wrongly accused. He was on the run. He was under pressure. He was all the kind of things that you want Bond to be. And he was good in it. He wasn't overly macho. He wasn't overly emotional. I think he struck a really good balance, and I quite liked him. So I thought he was good. How important is the look and the sound? Because he does have that sort of, I'm sure he'll change his accent to adapt a little bit, but he's a slightly more London. I'm not sure where he comes from actually, but
Hammersmith and Chelsea.
Yeah, okay. But I wouldn't be disappointed if they cast him. To be honest, I think he'd be good.
Oh no, I don't think it would be.
And he's got the right age, he's the right look. He's contemporary. I think he would be. I think he'd be a strong choice. But pinch of salt. There is no way Stephen Knight, Denis Villeneuve, MGM, Amazon, Eon, anybody they're all going to be going, this is great. Huge publicity already. If this keeps going, we're going to get a lot of noise around. Yeah,
that's it.
But Kev, you said you saw something about a rumor about casting in the summer. Is this going to be real?
Look, let's keep going on the rumors. And my mate who knows a mate who knows a pal who knows a friend who knows a friend who knows a pal, I said, read it off some website.
He works for the Daily Mail.
He might work for the Daily Mail. I can't possibly confirm or deny this, but anyway, the story there.
Daily Mail.
The story there, of course, is that we're going to see some sort of casting or momentum on casting happening this summer or kind of mid 2026. Now, again, it's a very sort of wide date range there that they've given. And you would think that, well, if we are going for a movie being kind of made next year, we would be getting your cast lined up together early in the summer. But what does that mean? Is it, ancillary cast? Could it be Ben Wishaw's coming back? Well, that's easy to do, or not, or is it a different queue? All of these things, of course, we were going to spend a lot of time this year talking about, because you could have a new Q, you could have a new M, you might have the original Scooby Gang. It's all up for air, but apparently we're hearing this summer. So if that is the case, and I say if with a big if, it is still early out of the traps in terms of the Bond actors, and I don't know. I just feel it's someone we are not looking at like a real spy.
Because what was the time frame with Craig, for instance? I mean, the film was released in November 2006. He was announced in October 2005. And he was probably signed the deal around the summertime, a few months earlier, wasn't it? Something like that, or maybe less. I'm not sure.
I think it's a little bit less, but it was. It was he had the time between October and I think filming began
February, I think, was
February.
It?
He had that time. He was kind of beefing up and getting into the role and stamping it already. And I was just saying, I'd say it's probably the same thing again for this when they do that announcement, because generally it's always a February. They seem to do it for a Christmas release. If that is again.
The just because you're touching timelines there, Paul. Denis Villeneuve is obviously in post-production with June. When is that finishing out? Do you know when that finishes out? Because I'm sure he'll be working offhand and then getting stuck in with Stephen, like to get the whole script in a certain way. So, like, do you think the summer is too soon?
Well, December, I think, is when Dune is due in the cinemas, right? So that's got to be wrapped up. That's got to be wrapped up in by mid this year, I think, right? So, I don't know how these things work in terms of timelines, but you know, obviously Stephen Knight is clearly already working on it. He said he was recently. He said he was having a great time. So if he's working on
it, timeline for Bond 26. And it's saying 2020 for Bond 26. Yeah, development and casting will be in 2026. Production 27 for a release date of 2028. Saying that pre-production is anticipated to ramp up with the filming expected to start in early 2027. And then it's saying that Denis Villeneuve is currently linked to direct after his June 3 commitments, though no official announcement has solidified this.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's taking so long to make a film. Come on, lads.
But you see, that's looking at, even if you bring somebody in, you've seen on the Daniel Craig timeline from signing the contract to the release of the film, that was still a hell of a lot more compact than we're looking at. We're still at rumours at this. We're still rumours at this stage. Never mind.
It's different now as well. We're not booking into Pinewood Studios, and we're not just booking into studios in Prague. There's a whole infrastructure being built behind the scenes, I would imagine, by MGM. I don't know whether that's going to mean they're going to relocate the if not the spiritual home, then the production home of Bond to the US. That may happen, but you can imagine that there's an entire infrastructure being invested into this and how that happens. So there's a whole lot of known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns to be considered. So there's no real way that we can pin them. But you know, hopefully, like we've got the major figures in place apart from the cast.
Yeah, this is the year. We're going to know more. We're going to know more. By the time we get to the second half of this year, we will know more.
Yeah.
It's like we're nearly there, guys.
I know.
I
was just happy about cruising along, minding my own business until this rumor went up, and now I'm like, I want.
I can just about see the oasis there on the distance through the desert that we have all walked through for the last 5-6 years now. But yes, we're nearly there.
When we get there, we ask for a glass of lemonade, like Peter O'Toole,
like Lawrence did.
Lawrence, yeah. Very good. Okay, so you mentioned what you want to see in your Bond, though, regardless of the actor. You want him to be an assassin. You want him to be on a mission. You don't want him to have a girlfriend and be pregnant. She rather than he. What else would you like to see? Sean, what would you like to see in your Bond? I know Andy's going to say, I don't want it to be a woman. So we'll get to that rumor in a minute.
Honestly, I would love to see an all-out action pre-title sequence, get the crowd buzzing, get everybody moving, cracker soundtrack to go along with it, the Bond theme front and center, obviously a gun barrel, and then honestly, selfishly, whatever it is, I want to see Bond get a mission and get on his mission and get out there. I want to see action. I'd love to see a bit of golf with Tanner and something like that there. Just setting the scene, reminding people of who he is. Maybe it's an odd scene with a naval suit on him. Definitely just reminding the audience, because bear in mind, we're going to have a brand new audience here. Like, here, we'll be paying, we'll be going, but it's the other people who really make the difference. and remind people of who this character of Bond is. I keep going back, and it's probably just ingrained in my head. Similar time when GoldenEye came out, we chatted enough about GoldenEye all last year. Is reminding people of who Bond is and reminding people that they needed Bond in the cinema. And I think it's the exact same way. I hope they go about it, but go all action, all out. This is the character who sets the standard once again for others to follow.
Do you think
all action
on a film every 2 years? Thank you.
Yeah. All action, yes, but I think it needs to have a really good story.
Yeah.
I think he needs not to go rogue.
No, that's what I mean. Mission and go.
Just stick to mission without rogue. I think that's been done to death now. And like you say, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the naval uniform as well at some point.
Yeah.
Do you think, guys?
I think they missed with Craig, and it would have been perfect for that character to be a scene in the naval uniform. That missed a wee trick there.
The question you were talking there, Sean, for everybody is GoldenEye, when it came along, and it had been about 6 years, it had a sort of a theme of Bond is still Bond, but the world has changed around him.
Yes.
Would you like to see that in the next one? A kind of a similar enough motif to that?
Well, I'm all in. So no point asking me.
Well, the world has changed a lot since No Time to Die, and it's definitely changing a lot
daily, isn't it? But
2020, and you know, we don't step into the murky world of politics here, but there are a lot of larger than life political characters around, many of whom characterized as villainesque. So when the world becomes more, when you have like real life type of Bond villains, what do you do then? You know, when you have like, there are a number of people on the world stage who are kind of, you know, big personalities driving it in one direction or another, and you're like, well, what does Bond do in that situation? Because a lot of the tone of the films of you know, I go back again to Jason Bourne and the early 2000 Bond films, where it's like, it was a post 9/11 environment that people had been sort of sobered up by the fact that the West was vulnerable to attack, and that really focused people and made them more in the mood for a more serious kind of approach to their characters and their entertainment. So what does the global situation say now? You know, we have you know, it's volatile. So what does Bond do in a volatile world? Does he go rogue, or does he become the linchpin of stability that we're looking? No.
I think No Time. I'm sorry. I know I might be monopolizing a little bit, but I think No Time to Die actually has the answer.
What's the answer?
Who would have thought we'd have said that? No Time to Die has the answer.
Devotion to service.
There's a bit where Felix and Bond are having the chat, and Felix says, well, it's a bit hard when the two governments don't really play in the same sandbox anymore. So we're going to go and we are going to follow the orders, but we're also going to tackle this and work together and show them that this is what we do. And I think there might be look.
Yeah.
I'll ring Stephen right now.
It's a great idea. Cultural soft power, Stephen. Great idea for a chat.
Have you seen No Time to Die, Stephen?
But bear in mind as well, like it depends when in terms of the Bond timeline when they set this. Like you could have a Spectre coming back again. You could have a Blofeld coming back. Or, you know, like you could be working two powers against each other for the winner. You know, so you just don't know what way it'll go. Like they'll probably use real life scenario type, but it's made up country that's made up. You just don't know what way they'll
especially what we've already all said, but the way the world is today. Do we want something that's based in the real world in that respect, or do we want some escapism just to get away from the real world?
Moonraker fan has entered the chat.
Well, yeah, maybe not quite that, but yeah, but you know what I mean.
That's exactly the question, Andy. Which way are they going to go? Because both of those
are we going to go for like the big megalomaniac? Hang on, sorry, we're still stuck in the real world there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to go really far out into space to leave it at the moment. Yeah, probably. You know, I would imagine. You know, there was that famous thing about GoldenEye. Was Frank Mancuso? Was that the name of the executive who commissioned the survey to say what do you know, how do teenagers feel about James Bond? And this was like in the early 90s, and they were like, oh, that's that guy your dad likes, you know. So they were like, oh no, Bond is irrelevant. But I think that happens, you know, every few years, people stop becoming teenagers, new teenagers come about, and they don't know who Bond is. You've got certainly the same problem again. So you're really going to need to tap into the cultural zeitgeist. And I suspect some of the younger viewers are not interested in what they perceive as, mad geopolitical things. They're probably not interested in it. It's just too absurd for them. It's too problematic. They just they want to get on with their lives and do something else. So they probably want the engaging storyline, the tough characters, the strong actors, the stuff that we have sort of had up until now, but maybe not with the same level of depth and of emotional roller coasting that we've been on. On a side note, had he not been cast as M, I think Ralph Fiennes would have made a great Blofeld. It's just me.
Oh, good shout. Very good shout. Yeah.
But he does a great everything.
He does, in fairness. Yeah. Was there a time he would have been in the running for Bond?
Yeah, he was there back in 90. After he did The English Patient, he was considered.
Yeah, and Schindler's List was after that as well, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Schindler's List, yeah.
It was 93, yeah. Here, just to pick up on your point about the younger audience, Paul, bear in mind we have a computer game coming out.
Yes.
It was pushed back slightly from March till May, but that's going to hopefully get the younger generation into the way. I know that's going to be an origin story, so it's probably like planting seeds of what the character of Bond is and will become. That could work hand in hand. I don't know if they've worked this out, who knows, but that could be working hand in hand, prepping the audience, the younger audience, for a film that's coming in a year's time. So they could be planting enough seeds within that.
And if it's popular, will they look at the style of the character, the actor that they've used in there? Because he's kind of young and he's got swagger. Will they go for that younger?
I hope so, because he's Irish. So yeah. So
but think about in the gap between License to Kill and GoldenEye. If you're 10 years old in 1991, you were watching James Bond Jr. on the TV.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now, different character completely, I think we're fair to say. Didn't have a reflection too much in GoldenEye, but it kept the awareness, which is the important thing. And I think Sean's bang on that thing with the game, because that is the way of getting to younger folks and a demographic that will probably want to go out, enjoy, watch a movie, have the experience of it. Nostalgia is always a good thing as well. No harm there.
No, it is, because I don't know what I'll bow to Michael's knowledge on the games more than anything, but Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny came out a couple of years ago, got a bit of interest. There's what's interesting in the game that came out a few years later, that is very well known within gaming circles, and people really like the gameplay, and also that's generating a bit of new fans in there as well. So, and I chatted to Michael previously about the engine that Bond is using for this game, and it's based on the Hitman series, and people are really into that. So there will be a lot of people coming to it as gamers, not James Bond fans, but you're hoping you'll pick them up as Bond fans moving forward. And then, there's a new film. There's a new actor. I might go along to it. Generate sort of a lot of publicity, a lot of sort of momentum that way. Here, it's all going to add up, and who knows what else? Probably Road to Billion Series 3 will be out before then, so that's going to get a ton of support. So yeah, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, and what do you think about the sort of, maybe not the theme park element, but something that is tangible that a Bond fan can go and visit and experience, a kind of a Bond-esque thing? Because we haven't had much of that before. Secret Cinema, I think, was the first time I ever experienced any kind of interactive Bond-like world, and I think that could be exciting too. And Amazon has the clout to do that, and they are now freed from the shackles of the from Eon. So who knows what we might see in the future. I'm kind of excited about it because they don't seem to have put a foot wrong yet, with the personnel that they're putting in place. But I may be overly optimistic. We only really knew.
No. Well, again, it's another way of attracting new fans, because I went to Disney a couple of years ago. All the big franchises are there, and Bond was nowhere to be seen. You walk into, even I'm going to say Smith's Toy Store, all the big franchises are all there. If you're Star Wars, you've tons of WWE, you've all the Marvels, you've everything. You'll not get a James Bond thing in there. And yes, it's a different type of audience, but to bring the younger audience along, you need to be targeting them. You need to be focusing them as well as the older audience. Yeah, like for years, a lot of the Bond sort of memorabilia, for want of a better word, very high end, very high priced, that the vast majority of people are not getting, and it's all limited edition runs for gold pen and gold letters at $4,000 a pop. Like you're not attracting new members with that generally. So I think there is a massive gap there that I'm hoping Amazon will tap into.
All optimism this side here. This is great.
Yeah. And look, Lego, because Paul, you were sharing that Lego this week, and Lego over there, you got the same thing. But what a gateway.
So I have. Well, that's not the Lego one. Little Bruno, he's 5, and he just found this box of Lego that I had bought a long time ago, and I didn't want to open it up because I knew it would be shredded. So anyway, Bruno made this little thing. He did it in a few hours, and he was so proud of himself. And I posted it, and I think I was more thrilled than he was. Lego commented and said, "Excellent work, Bruno." And I said, "Look, Lego commented," and he was like, "I have no concept. What is social media? What is comment? What is? I don't care." And I was like, it's better that way. But I was like, "Woohoo!" But yeah, Lego have done fantastically well with the Bond stuff. And I hope they do more. I mean, I'd love a Lego Lotus, and an option of the white one or the reddish one from Fear Eyes Only, and the Living Daylights asset. I mean, come on, bring it on, you know. Lego Oddjob. Or just, you know.
There's so much potential. Never mind, again, my two younger sons, Sean's, get into Star Wars through Lego Star Wars, the game. Like there could be a James Bond game there with Lego.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much potential. So much potential.
Yeah. I think that was
just
a suggestion of the game before. But anyway.
We've talked a lot about this. Let's just talk about some of the other people in the mix. There's a guy called Jacob Elordi. There's a guy called Jacob Elordi, a super mega famous actor. He's also been thrown around as a name for Bond. Any thoughts on that guy? Do you know who he is?
Don't. Hold my hands
Is
up.
he the Aussie guy?
He's the Aussie guy. He's Australian. Yeah.
From Brisbane.
He's just been in Frankenstein.
Yes, I haven't seen that yet, but I've
seen the poster.
I don't know where I've clutched that from because I've not seen it, but it's just a name.
And Jason Saltburn. I think most people here will know him from that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Saltburn. I'm wary of it, to be honest.
That was some Christmas when that came out. Let's all sit down and watch a movie for Christmas, shall we?
And everything.
Doing that again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay,
he's young enough. He's under 30. He's about, I think, about 27, 28, I think. So again, you know, tenure there. Producer Michael is just whispering in our ears. He's going to be in Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie.
Oh, right.
So
excellent.
His star is ascending as well. So that I don't know whether that precludes him or includes him.
He's quite tall, isn't he? He's like 6'4" or something, I think. I don't know if we're gonna, if 6'1", 6'2" is our optimal height. I mean, we went below it with Craig, so maybe we'll go above it with Jacob Elordi. I don't know.
Well, if he's doing Wuthering Heights, we'll be able to tell if he can do a Yorkshire accent or not, then, won't we?
Did you watch the Timothy Dalton Wuthering Heights, Andy?
No.
Come on, Paul. Come on.
Not because of Timothy Dalton, but no.
Bronte is not your thing. I thought you might have just wanted to, out of pure research purposes, checked out whether Dalton could have done a Yorkshire accent. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've kind of given up guessing, but the Callum Turner one, after a while, I started to think, it's worth chewing over. You know, I wouldn't be disappointed if he got.
I can see it. I could see it. You know, the more you think about it, and the more you work it through, just different scenarios. I think he can carry himself off in action. He can do the scenes with Moneypenny, the M. I can see him in the role now. Yeah, definitely see him.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Anything else we want to talk about? Or are we going to leave it there? This keeping it short and sweet. I think we're going to do a few short and sweet episodes these days.
I think there's other stuff, but we can keep that for another time.
Yes,
tune back for the next.
We haven't researched it yet, but yes, we tune back next week for the same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks everybody for joining us on this podcast. That was really great. We'll keep you up to date on more Bond rumors. In the meantime, check out our Instagram, Facebook, and now our new website, jamesbondclub.ie. We have Kev to thank for putting that together. We're on all the podcast platforms, and of course, hopefully you're watching us on YouTube so you can see our fabulous visages as well as listening to our dulcet tones. So catch us again next week. We look forward to chatting to you then. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.